Time is up, Senator Siongo. Give her half a minute just to conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you so much. I was saying, as the president is now uniting the country and moving forward, Baba Raila Odinga will be elected when he becomes the chair of African Union. And this nation is on the right track. African continent will become great. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Siongo. Lastly, Senator Danson Mungatana.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, may I take this opportunity to laud His Excellency the President for a very good State of the Nation address, the SONA, as is well known. Mr. Speaker, on page 81, after he had finished addressing the nation, His Excellency the President submitted 3 reports. One report on the progress of fulfilling international obligations of the Republic is submitted to the National Assembly, but the other 2 reports on measures taken and progress achieved in the realization of national values is submitted to the Senate, and the second report on the state of security is submitted to the Senate. Mr. Speaker, it is my interest to debate the report on the state of security. Mr. Speaker, the President captured a very critical issue that is nationwide. He discussed in this report, when I read it, about the national challenges, the regional challenges, and the international challenges that this country faces. And he gave what measures he needed to deal with and what his government and his administration, which we strongly support, is taking action on those various 3 fronts that are bringing challenges to the Republic of this country, of this nation. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about the national security challenges, the President in that report explained that there were skirmishes on mineral prospects in Marsabit County, and he also mentioned that there were problems between Kitui and Tana River counties, and he went on to mention about border disputes involving Kisumu and Kericho counties, Taita Taveta and Makwiny counties, and he discussed what those challenges were at the national level. And he said that he had issued a moratorium on the gold mines in Marsabit area. But then he also said that his government, as far as dealing with the border problems were concerned, he was going to do some of these measures which he said he will implement. The first one is creating peace building and conflict resolution programs. Now, Mr. Speaker, where Tana River County is concerned, and especially the border skirmishes that happened between Kitui County and Tana River County, Mr. Speaker, I allowed the President that in his plan from this report, peace-building missions and peace-building initiatives and programs were going to be invested in by this government. Mr. Speaker, we need those programs like yesterday. Our people especially between Kitui and Tana River borders, where there's been a lot of tension. They need these programs to roll out like yesterday. I would have been very happy if the president would have also said that he is allocating this amount of money through this agency to go on these peace programs. Why? Because, Mr. Speaker, when you go on both sides of the divide on these borders, it's the same people who are living. And these are what we call resource-based conflicts. It's the same people who are living. In fact, you wonder why people are fighting. But people are fighting, and actual dislike has a reason. And some people have even translated that to community hatred. Mr. Speaker, these peace-building efforts must start today. I'm mentioning them specifically because he stated in that report that that is number one thing he was going to do. We have the National Cohesion Body. That commission, Mr. Speaker, needs to be empowered to carry out these missions. Mr. Speaker, we need to have peace champions along those border areas. In Tana River County, Mr. Speaker, on one side, we are facing problems with Kitui. On the other side, we are facing problems with Garissa County. On this downside, it is with Kilifi County. Because our county is so vast, people tend to think all the land is in Tana River. Our only good neighbors who have never shown interest in grabbing our land is Tharaka Nithi and Lamu County. But our other neighbors have consistently shown an interest in trying to come for land from Tana River. And this, Mr. Speaker, should stop. Mr. Speaker, the President said in that report that he, on Roman 2, that he will conduct an all-inclusive adjudication and delimitation.
Senator Mungatana,
Yes.
would you like to be informed by Senator Siango?
I wish my time would stop. If that time can be stopped, then I
Senator
don't mind
Siango,
the
proceed.
information.
I will grant you an extension of your time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to inform my good neighbor and my chair that Tana River borders Kitui County. But Kitui County people have never expressed any interest to grab land from Tana River. Actually, it's Tana River people who are aggressively advancing towards Kitui County. Kitui County people are very peaceful. They keep to their lane. They live in their land. They have never wished to grab any land from Tana River. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Danson Mungatana, proceed.
I don't think that information, Mr. Speaker, that information may not be useful for purposes of this debate. That is just a point of view, because the boundaries, we know that we've had an issue. They have their view, we have our view. But what I'm saying is that we need peace-building efforts, and we support what the President has rolled out, but he needs to go beyond these good statements and make sure that the national cohesion, which is the agency that is seized of this, to be funded appropriately, so that the problems along Kitui Tana River, the problems along Garissa Tana River, the problems along Kilifi Tana River can be resolved as he promised. Mr. Speaker, the President in this report on the state of security also said that it is the program of the government that they will conduct an all-inclusive adjudication and delimitation of disputed boundaries to avert escalation of conflict. And Mr. Speaker, this is written in black and white, that the government will conduct an all-inclusive adjudication and delimitation of disputed boundaries. Now, Mr. Speaker, this is such a heavy statement, and he has already setted out all the boundaries that I've mentioned. And there are many counties which have been affected by this conflict. Mr. Speaker, the only thing that hasn't been mentioned is...
Senator Mungatana,
yes.
We are adding you the 1 minute I committed to for your conclusion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The only thing the President has not mentioned, Mr. Speaker, is where is the funding going to be found in this budget? For example, we know that he's going to present a supplementary budget before the National Assembly. I wish, Mr. Speaker, that the money for carrying out this all-inclusive boundary delimitation can be actually found. This should be treated as a very serious national issue. If it is contained in this report, it will be so sad, Mr. Speaker, if next year, a time like this, after the State of the Nation address, I will be sitting here to debate that this was there last year. Because no money was allocated, nothing happened. So, I want to urge His Excellency the President and those who are sitting listening to us as we are debating this matter, that the question of boundaries is a very critical issue, and we need to find resources within these areas so that money can be allocated for boundaries. These disputes need to be resolved.
Senator Mungatana, your time is up. Honorable members, there being no other member keen on making contribution, I call upon the majority leader to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to appreciate our colleagues who have taken time